guys, it's Sophie. Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. So in today's video, we are going to be going through some masteries with ball. Last week, I did a video talking everything related to ball, and I know a lot of you guys wanted to see some masteries, so today, that's what we're going to be doing. I'm going to show you guys some different types of masteries, from rolls to transmissions, bounces, and all that stuff. And the best part is, these are masteries that you can do in a relatively small space, such as your home, and you don't need to have extreme flexibility or even be warmed up to be able to do these masteries. So all you're going to need is a little bit of space, your ball, and maybe some knee pads. And yeah, let's get started. So standing up, this is the first mastery that we're going to be doing. So essentially, you'll bounce the ball, and as it's coming up, you're going to kick it with your leg, and then rotate away from that leg. So if you're kicking the ball with your right leg like I am, you'll then be rotating to the left. And of course, you'll just catch the ball after that. You can practice just this bounce with the kick first to get an idea of the timing. You want to kick the ball as it's still coming up to have better control over its direction, because if you kick the ball as it's starting to come down again, it's probably going to bounce a lot higher than it needs to, and you'll have less control over it. So yeah, we're just going to work on this 5 times, and that goes for all the masteries in this video. It's important when you're doing this one to do the rotation as you're kicking the ball, not kick the ball first and then rotate it, because one of the criteria for this mastery is in rotation, so it's important to actually do it in rotation. And this one does take a bit of practice to find the right spot to kick it up, but generally I find that if you kick it with your shin and sort of in the middle of your leg, it comes back to you okay. Okay, next up we're going to do this little toss in a cartwheel type rotation. So let's just try this rotation first without the ball. It's kind of like a cartwheel, but the first leg that comes up stays in the air, while the second leg comes up and then down. So if you're doing a cartwheel on the right side like me, your left leg is going to be staying up in the air and your right leg is going to be crossing over. And this cartwheel is actually going to be on one hand since the other hand is going to be holding the ball. So if you're doing a cartwheel on the right side like me, the ball is going to be in your right hand, and so the left hand will be on the ground during the cartwheel. And you might need to practice this rotation a bit first before trying it with the ball, but once you feel like you're ready, you can go ahead, grab the ball, and try this out. So with the ball in your right hand, you're just going to do a small toss behind your right leg as you're starting the cartwheel. And then once you moved your right leg up in the air, the ball should kind of just be there for you to catch in the same hand. So essentially, you're just tossing the ball around your right leg. And then of course, if you're doing this on the left side, everything's going to be reversed. I personally found this one pretty difficult to coordinate to figure out in my head, but I think once you figure it out, it's actually not that hard. Oh, and this is me trying it on the left side after a few minutes of trying to figure out how to coordinate it. Okay, moving on. This is the next mastery we're going to work on. So what you're going to do is first give the ball a little toss, then rebounce it with your foot, rotate, and then catch the ball between your legs on the floor. Now this is the one that you may need to use knee pads for, so feel free to put some on if you need to. And again, this is what it should look like all together. The key here is to find the right spot on your leg for the rebounce so that the ball comes right back to you to catch between your legs. You don't need to toss the ball too high in the beginning. It's more important that you bounce it with your leg harder to give yourself enough time to complete the rotation. And I find that the best place to rebounce the ball is with your foot. Although if you rebounce it off the tips of your toes, it'll probably bounce too far away from you. But again, you just kind of have to try it out for yourself and see how it works for you. I should have told you that I loved you every night. Oh, that's on my mind. I should have told you that I loved you one more time. One more time. We're going to stay standing up for this next mastery, and this is what it should look like. So we're going to be doing a similar type of cartwheel as one of the earlier masteries, but here one leg is going to stay in the air for most of the rotation, and the other leg is going to come up and back down. So you should be taking off and landing on the same leg, which for me in this case is my right leg. And then as you're bringing your first leg down, the leg that's in the air, which is the one that should be holding the ball, you're going to extend it a bit so that the ball falls out and bounces beside you. So the way that I'm doing it here, the ball's in your left leg, and when I drop the ball out of my leg, it bounces just beside me on the left side and a little bit in front. But again, this will be reversed if you're doing it on the left side. Now this one is pretty straightforward, you just kind of have to figure out the right timing to drop the ball. You can also do an alternative version here where instead of bouncing the ball during your cartwheel, you actually roll it to your hands as you're finishing the cartwheel. Now I'm not exactly showing this one properly because you should be starting the roll as you're finishing the cartwheel. If you notice, I kind of stop after I do the cartwheel before starting the roll. But anyways, we're going to come onto the ground for this next one, and it's actually going to be a combination of a transmission and a roll, and so this is what we're trying to achieve. The first thing you want to do is squeeze the ball with one of your legs and just kind of follow what I'm doing here with my legs to complete the transmission. This is what we'll be doing during the back roll. And then once you finish your back roll, you want to keep the leg that's holding the ball in the air so that you can roll it back over to your hands. Now this roll can be a little bit tricky, but the main thing you want to think about is rolling it in the middle of your back. I also find that arching your back just a little bit in the beginning of the roll helps stabilize the ball. So depending on which leg you want up for the roll, where the ball starts will change. You're going to start with the ball in the opposite leg that you're going to roll it out with. So for example, I lift my left leg up for the roll, so I'm starting with the ball in my right leg. And one thing that I find helps me during this roll is to think about the position of that back leg. If your leg is turned in or out too much, the ball will probably roll off to the side. So it's important that your hips are squared and your leg is pointing straight upward.
Cross my heart and hope to die. Lonely, you're the reason why I can feel those butterflies when I go to sleep at night.
And I just want to show you guys this quick alternative for the second mastery in case the roll is too difficult, and that is with this little scissor kick with a toss of the ball. So with this one, the transmission is going to stay the same, but after that you're going to kick your legs back one at a time, with both of them being off the ground momentarily, and the ball should be in the leg that's coming up first. And the last mastery we're going to do here, we're going to stay on the ground, and it's just going to be this little toss here. And it's kind of similar to the mastery we just went through, but basically you're going to lift both your legs in the air at the same time, and they'll almost be in a stag position in the air. So the ball is just going to be between your feet, and you'll toss it as you separate your legs. Now this one is pretty straightforward, you just kind of have to find the right positioning of the ball between your feet. I like to have it kind of in the middle of my feet, just slightly touching my heels, but again, just find what works for you. Everyone has different techniques of executing these masteries, so I'm just showing you guys my procedure as an example, but what works for me may not always work for you. So you just have to play around with the positioning of the ball, and like I've said many times throughout this video, just try to find what works for you. And that's it. Great job. And that is going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys found this helpful. Hopefully there was at least one mastery in here that you were able to do, or that you liked, or that maybe you could incorporate into your routine. You can comment down below which one was your favorite and let me know, because I'd love to know. And anyways, don't forget to give this video a like, subscribe down below, and turn on my post notifications if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next week with a brand new video. Bye!